My soul is glued to the swing. I shed to lead. Give us light, heart to heart. Let nothing start believe. No need to trust. Free your mind. Lower vibes, fabulous world. Losing lead. Vivid sky. Sing along. Share with us.
Hello, I'm HeroDev, and welcome back to Frontier. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the roadmap for 2019. For anyone who's familiar with this channel, they've known that I've already created one previously, but I felt like it was incredibly inaccurate, and actually no, it was grossly inaccurate of how the game would be moving now, because I did so much writing and I did so much changes, and I realized this is infinitely better now from what I was going to do before. So this video is to essentially update that video, and that video, which was called Future of Frontier 2019, that will be privated. So when this video's up, that'll be privated. And I just wanted to, show you exactly where the game's headed. And one thing to note is that there is no particular order that I will do this stuff in. This is not any particular order. I'm just going down a list of things that I want all done this year. All this stuff will be done this year, and I just wanted to let you guys know what's going to be completed. First, I'm going to go over the two things that are completed, or at least for the most part is completed. The one thing that is completely done is the full redesigns. The full model redesigns, this have all been completed because that's what most of this year was for. That's what it's taken so long to do, was to redesign everything in the game and get it to a level of quality that I was happy with, and really make sure that I nailed down the style of how Frontier will be looking. Another thing is the graphics and post-processing additions. This is something I also did. However, I got a brand new asset recently, so I can actually get volumetric lighting in the game. And for those who don't know what that is, that's God rays, light rays, sun rays. Either it's called all three of those things. But if you know exactly what that is in games, then you exactly know what I'm talking about. That's what I'm going to be putting in Frontier, so that's going to be looking great. I don't know when, but I have it already, so it's just a matter of me just setting it up. So those are the two things that I've completed. Now I'm going to go through the list of stuff that I haven't completed, and one of these things is a stretch goal. So first of all, we need a UI overhaul. Gonna change the UI, the health bar, all that stuff. It's gonna look different. Next thing, the item shop is getting replaced by a brand new system, brand new name, brand new all that stuff. So the item shop is gonna be renamed to the Dropbot shop. The Dropbot shop is very different from this old concept of the item shop. The Dropbot shop is all about mods. It's going to give you mods for your shell and mods for your weapons. That's the best way to describe it. I'll go into detail once I actually go into the video on its update. So that's just to let you know, I'm only giving you guys quick descriptions on things, and I'm moving down the list. Next thing, this one in particular is the only stretch goal I have for this year. I want to add brand new races, and I want to add the female gender version of the Vixen, and that's what we have right now. As you can see, that's the one that you see for the profile picture and all that. That's a Vixen, and he is a male, obviously. I will be making a female and other races. At least I want to, as a stretch goal this year. That's not promised this year, but I really want to. So I just want to let y'all know. The next thing is player customization, colorizing, and creation. So what does this mean? I want you guys to be able to set your name of your player. I want you to be able to customize the coloring on the skin of your character and the eye color. Along with that, I want you to be able to customize the armor colors to make it how you want. That's what that is. Next thing, shell overhaul. Shell overhaul is just looking at the systems of the shell, essentially, and just kind of making sure everything works properly with it, and all all the buffs and all the other stuff in the game add up correctly with the shell. It's kind of just making sure all my math is right. And on top of that, I'm going to be adding 2 brand new stats to the game, and I'll talk about that when we get to that update eventually. So I'll keep that vague, and that's what the shell overall update will overall do. The next thing is the weapon signature update. The weapon signature update is essentially your weapon skill. Every weapon in the game has a skill, and that skill is called a signature, and they under cooldowns, and they're tied to a specific key binding. This is essentially setting up the system for that to be able to be done, and it will be, how to describe it? It will be demonstrated on the weapon that I have right now, the Vignes, that's in the game. So that's how that update will work. Again, more detail when I get there. Vehicle overhaul. Now this is the most complex of all the things of 2019. This is reprogramming the physics, the movement, everything for vehicles to make them feel good, to make the key bindings feel more comfortable, and to be able to set up combat for all the vehicles in the game. So yeah, that's a massive update. Vehicle combat will be here for the first time in Unity for Frontier. That'll be great. Next one, and again, like I said, that's the most complex one. That'll be the hardest. Emote system is the next thing on the roadmap. I don't think I need to explain this very detail. Pretty much, you'll be able to select an emote, and it'll lock your movement. You do it, you do the animation, and then it ends. You already know what an emote is. That's how it works. Cosmetic system. Now, cosmetic system is referring to clothing, such as putting like a scarf on your character, putting on a cape, you know, all kind of like clothing items over your armor. That's how that would work, just to let you guys know. The next item on the roadmap list is gameplay overhaul, and this includes crowd control actually working finally and permanently working, buffs being able to be communicated to different entities, and debuffs, same as buffs, make them communicate to different stuff. Essentially, everything is going to be able to communicate with each other, which in turn is going to make the game feel a lot better and deeper and more interesting. And that, again, I'll go into more detail when I get to the update. Action item system. Action item system is something I'll definitely go in more detail in the video because it's hard to do that in a quick video like this. But the action item system is essentially replacing the sidearm system. The sidearm system is going away and it's been deleted out of the game. The sidearm system previously was just your grenade system. That's it. You throw a grenade, you throw a mine, it does what it needs to do. That's what it was. Action item system is replacing it because I hated the sidearm system. It was boring. I'd rather have action item system. Action item is going to be so much better because the action item isn't limited anymore to a grenade or a mine. Action item can be anything. It could be a relic, it could be a stone, it could be an organ, it could be some unstable weapon, it could be anything. It could be a dagger. An action item can be anything, and they do a myriad of things. I will definitely explain this in detail for concepts when I actually do the action item system. But just to give you guys a good idea, think of use items from Risk of Rain 2. That is how they will behave in 3D space. So yeah, that's how crazy I want them to be. Next thing. So the next item on here is the conduit shield system. So this is an armament. Conduits are an armament for those who do or don't know. The conduit, it acts as a physical shield. It acts like a buckler, any other kind of shield that you would see in a game, say like Legend of Zelda. It projects it in front of you when you are pressing a key. And the thing that's interesting about this system is that I'm going to be adding a parrying mechanic. So if you parry in the right window of time, you'll be able to parry back projectiles. And when you parry projectile successfully, your shield takes no damage, and it even goes into an invulnerable state for duration. So that's how the conduit system and parry system is going to be working. That's kind of the main meat potatoes of that update. Just want to let you all know. The next thing is the crown system. The crown system, again, a crown is an armament, just like a conduit. A crown sits on top of your head, and it can fit anywhere around your head or float near your head. It could be just anywhere, just in that vicinity. And a crown generally gives all kinds of different buffs, and it usually grants some kind of aura. And in the case of the Mikata, for those who have seen this real cool design right here, this little guy actually heals you in an area, in a large area, when you're not firing. So it can heal your whole team up, and you, if you're not firing slowly over time, and on top of that, it also increases the amount of healing you receive. So yeah, that gives you an example of how crowns will work and how all of them will have all these different unique effects and look interesting. It'll help synergize your builds, guys, with your weapons. So that'll be, really, really helpful. The next armament is the Gauntlet system. The Gauntlet is a armament that you wear on your left arm, and the Gauntlet essentially augments how you siphon. And for those who don't remember what siphoning is when you extract energy out of crystals, and it fills up your Espa bar. That is the act of siphoning. So gauntlets augment how that works. They can work in all kinds of ways. And for a good example, the one I have currently in the game was named the... technically I renamed it. But it used to be called the Aura Gauntlet, now it's called the Excavator Gauntlet. But they both had the same functionality. If you're in an area around that's near a crystal that has energy, you automatically siphon it. So you're going to naturally regain energy back without having to siphon. So that's how that works. And you see a ton of other different gauntlets in the game that'll do all kinds of cool stuff. Like gauntlets that don't have a beam or don't have a range, and they actually melee instead, and things like that. So you'll see some cool stuff like that. The pack system. The pack system is the final armament. And one thing to note is that the boots armament and the plating armament are both gone out the game. There are only 4 now. I just wanted to preface that for anyone who maybe remember that. That's gone out the game completely. The pack system is an armament, a pack armament, and it's an armament that sits on your back. It's your jetpacks. Essentially, that's what it is. Cut and simple. I'll just leave it like that. It's simple. There'll be ones that do all kinds of different things, but that should give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about. The next thing on the list is the Espa skill system overhaul. I'm going to be changing a little bit with how the skills are working. Programmatically, it could be working so much better. It's kind of dirty how I'm doing these skills at the moment, so I'm going to be pretty much changing that up. They're going to scale a little bit differently with your stats, so I'll talk about scaling stats a little bit more in the future. There already scales currently in the game, but I'm going to fix how that works a little bit. And that's kind of just how that works. We have finally the very last thing on this roadmap, and it's called the Mattis Scroll / Capture Device Overhaul. So let me explain this one. This one is definitely very new and very different. So for those in the game who have seen previous updates, I think you guys all understand what a capture device is. For those who don't know, I'll explain it. A capture device is a spherical object, like a sphere, almost like a Pokeball in a sense. You throw it out, and then your vehicle spawns. That's what a capture device is. But the Mattis Scroll overhaul that's replacing the capture device is something completely different that's I don't want to explain too deeply on, but essentially I didn't like the idea of throwing an object and having it roll with physics really far away from you and then spawn. It was really clunky, it was really weird, it was cool in concept, but it didn't work and it didn't feel good. Mattis Scroll is going to improve that and fix it. I won't explain what a Mattis Scroll, how it's different, but just know that it's a system that's replacing the old way of using vehicles. And vehicles in general are changing pretty dramatically by the end of this year. So this is everything on the roadmap of 2019. I hope this was quick and not too overwhelming. I don't like to make my videos too long, but I just want to preface and just say this really quickly. I have one last list here that's for 2020 and beyond. I want to read to you all the things I want to put in this game to make it considered a finished product, at least in the sense that you can play the game. So let's get into what this is really quickly. I'm just going to go on the list. I'm not going to explain anything. So the future things that I want all completed to complete this game to make it a full experience is I want to get weather, game modes, multiplayer functionality, a kill reward system / kill trackers, just trackers in general that track different like reward stuff. Like if say I have a tracker that checks how much damage you're doing in a match. If you do 100 damage, you get some kind of currency bonus. That's what I mean. End of match rewards, unlockable items. Unlockable store, which would house Espa skills, action items, shells, armaments, weapons, vehicles. I think you guys understand what I mean by that. Maps, of course, Game content, that just means shells, weapons, that's game content, things like that. Cosmetic content, obviously clothing, that's what that means. Potentially enemies and wildlife, player XP and level reward system, chat log, Trigon Island hub, story characters, character line / dialogue system, a questing system, a high quality tutorial story level, security and anti-cheat, matchmaking, and lastly host migration. This list I just told you about is if all this stuff is in, Frontier is here. All I would have to do is worry about fixing bugs, updates, get the game out to you guys, market it, and just keep putting content. Then I'd be good. The game would be here. So that's what I want to explain. That's the end of the video. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this. For those who are new, thank you for joining and taking a look at the channel and Frontier. If you're interested and you want to be a beta tester and you want to look at how the game's developing and you want it to succeed, please follow the social media in the description. You guys can see some social media stuff that I put on screen right now. Make sure you please go and you follow those social media. Please follow Discord. Discord's important. Follow Twitter, follow Reddit, follow everything, because every single one of them are incredibly important. Reddit is for blogging, Discord is for talking with you guys directly and just showing you my day-to-day work that I'm doing, that I feel like showing you guys. You can always talk to me the best on Discord if you want to speak to me about anything, or give me feedback. That's probably the best place to give it to me. Twitter, that's what I had forgot. Make sure to follow Twitter. I put a bunch of stuff on there. I like to do all kinds of little updates on there, and I like to talk there too. So just follow everything, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys later, and I'll see you guys in the next Frontier video.